I got bored of the show. Even to this day, I don't understand why like people loved it so much. Like, it was good, but it wasn't. I don't know. It just got really boring for me. Vampo, thank you for the gifted sub. Chandler, thank you for the 2 months.
Okay. Oh. Comfortable level for like an hour and a half.
Doesn't make it good.
No. That's out. Get up at 4 o'clock.
The show can have an amazing ending that doesn't make the other seasons not boring to me.
Watching right now. Okay. Get this place clear out a little bit. See if this NPC put up or not. Put up or not. Oh no, we'll see. I highly doubt it. Oh no, we'll see. I highly doubt it. Oh no, we'll see. Well, there is definitely less people than when I went before I took a shower. I would just kill these for XP, but like most of these. Probably not worth waiting for. Should just back and never. Or try it every time of day when there's people. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, excuse me. Man, my cheeks and face just look red. Not even the lights. Like, sun damage. I probably could play with the settings and make. Well, not me more now, but like. Now it's pronounced. Off fat face. As I am about to eat snack. Definitely need to change bad habits. I like them though, they're simply balanced. Brand. Wild berry. There. Probably don't have power from the. Probably not. Team. Hopefully they don't get hit too bad.
Need more rage.
My shiny head. I don't know. Oh, it's worse now.
Not enough rage. Need more rage.
I haven't seen her walking at all. And when I was doing the attack quest, I had to kill all this shit. Okay, why is having to lean forward? Fine yesterday. Here, my head too shiny, my balding head too.
It's too far away.
This one's camera. Hold on. Here's my light angle. Oh, bright button. It's a beginner, I guess there wasn't enough light. I don't like. Like, I have this issue. I finally had fit this fix. Seeing differently? I don't know. It's bothering me though, because every time I like my shiny forehead. Do about it. Now with the light in my right eye, right, bothered me. Maybe I gotta that other light up a little bit. I don't want to fuck with that right now. A little too high? Whatever. Whatever. It. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna not do this quest right. I haven't even seen like someone else grab her. Like, probably spawn some other places too. Thing I saw was kind of spawns right around. Rock around. Oh, we all have the same quest.
Not enough rage. Need more rage.
Fun time. I just don't get in her. Whatever. We are Move on. Just move on.
What brings you here? May the stars guide you.
I should have repaired. Bad bear. Oh, I do get strength. Lose some armor, but I get strength, right? You're due for me. Increase health and mana regeneration. Ability. Okay, so agility is my crit chance. Dodge on this character. It says I should put it, so oh, at 0. Oh, pardon me. And there's a line for the quest. Need more water in my water cup. And we're waiting. Taking out my letters. Far away. Ugh. Missed. Good position. Hurt my hands. Oh. It's doing it to my other shirt. Oh, what is this respawn range on this? Oh, there it is. He's fun intended trying to steal it.
I don't mind the gnomes, but I'm always worried about tripping over one.
Yeah, just said something. Ow.
Man, I was halfway through the Emerald Dream when I had to pee.
I'm out of here. Not ready yet. The village isn't ready yet.
Lower back hurt. A little better. Better footrest than my desktop right now under the desk. Be 400 years and break out the way he should have. I'm like, not that I can talk. No one's watching me. I'm just talking to myself because I'm bored. But I like fucking with it.
Thank you.
Outstanding!
Walk, 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 walk.
Who wants to live forever?
I honestly don't know how they're doing some of these. Like, I thought slash joke would work. Apparently. Play. You get in there soon.
I can't attack that. I can't attack that target.
Watch, I guarantee these fun Nintendo guys are trying to steal this shit. Oh, that should be coming up any second.
It's too far away. Not enough range. Can't do that.
That wasn't too bad a wait. For like 5 minutes. Well, maybe a little more than 5 minutes. Whatever. These people, for the most part, were being polite and.
Need more rage.
Heck.
I need to get closer.
Yeah, I feel like you should be able to skin them. Hey. I don't know what professions to do. Fucking everyone has a better idea. I'll play this game. Stupid. The only MMO I was ever semi decent with, and I still couldn't. Not sure. Semi decent with was SWTOR. That was a pretty. I don't know. Nightmare is pretty hard DPS checks. Think stats. Like, there was mechanics.
I'm out of range.
That's just not
Far
bad.
away. Not enough range. Can't do that. Need more range. Not enough range. Need more range. Not enough range.
Creates that stuff with me. Why is the sound for this waterfall so?
I need to get closer. Need more range. It's too far away. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
Give me that death cap or water. I really don't want to work tomorrow. The one.
Not enough rage. Need more rage. Can't do that yet. Not enough rage.
Eh. Oh, they're taking my.
Need more rage. Not enough rage. Need more rage. Not enough rage. Need more rage. I don't have a target.
Not blue. Okay.
I'm out of range.
The blue one over here, if I don't have to go all the way down. Yeah.
I need to get closer. Not enough range. That ability. Not ready.
That waterfall noise is so loud. It's so random.
Not enough range.
And we're leaving the cave.
Not enough range. Need more range. Not enough range. Out of
Texas is good. I said he finished his bachelor's and then went and enlisted into the Air Force as a senior airman. At least he's in Germany. Or medical equipment or whatever. Oh, see, he's. I don't kid.
that ability isn't ready yet.
Oh, that aggroed him?
I can't do that. That ability isn't ready. Need more rage. Not ready. Not enough rage. That ability isn't ready yet. Need more rage. Not enough rage.
God damn. Not paying attention. I gotta repair my shit. My sword's even broken? Fuck. Let me go back anyways. Just revived and took sickness. Good. Actually tired. What's it? 7 hours if I go to bed. I do need to go to bed at 9. I can get like far as I want.
Elune be with you. Be careful.
What can I do for you? See you soon.
How are you?
Like, should I even try selling green? Like, I don't know. Like, do people actually buy this shit? Like, green. Oh no.
Keep your feet on the ground.
Greetings. Go in peace.
Just having me go back here. I guess it'd be easier because now I'm level as I don't know. Maybe we'll come back over here. Oh, there's still a lot of quests. I get it. It's having a freaking solo list, so it's like you're not being overwhelmed. Like, hey, these things are 17 and you're still 15. These quests over here are 15-ish. You get a better. Ugh. Manage my Oh, there it is. I wish I had people to play ESO with. Like, it's fine. I don't know. Really just want a badass, like, space MMO. Wish I would have played WildStar, like, the whole time. That gameplay was so fun, and I liked the art style and the humor, and the story was interesting. And just, I'll leave WoW for, in my opinion, probably a better game. Could have been a way better. Well, still good. I'm just saying, if it had anywhere near the player base.
Need help? Farewell. Hello. Safe travels.
Time at work. This is really gonna take me 6 minutes. I don't know, that's if I was running like long, but damn.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greats, Jim Gaffigan. How are you, sir?
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Great to see you, man. I'm excited that you're doing a special on Amazon.
Yeah.
I think it's important that there's a bunch of other platforms for all of us to do
Right.
specials on, and when a guy like you goes over to Amazon, legitimizes it, makes it a big deal. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's fascinating how the outlets for specials has changed so dramatically. Because
Yeah.
when we were kids, it was just HBO.
Yep.
And then Comedy Central, when I released Beyond the Pale, it was that perfect moment where in every dorm room in America, Comedy Central was on.
Yep.
You know, it had shifted from MTV to Comedy Central, probably because of Chappelle and Jon Stewart. And so, but it shifts. You know, it's like then Netflix was big, and we see these other platforms coming out. So it'll be interesting if I can convince people, because everyone goes to Amazon or someone in their family does. So if I can convince them the next time they're buying paper towels and socks to just go over to Prime, because everyone has a Prime membership.
Yeah, that's the weird part about it, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's shopping, but it's also like the same as iTunes.
Yeah, people have asked me, they're like, what if, one person asked me, they're like, what if someone doesn't have a Prime membership? And I'm like, then
Who
they're
are
probably
you?
not on the internet,
Yeah, who are you?
right? They probably can't afford even, high-speed internet. So it's like, but I don't know. It is going to be interesting. I've watched stuff on Prime, but it's like every time I think comedians, we like to explore and do things different. Even new rooms and stuff like that. We
Listen,
kind
Joe
of are
Rogan,
risk averse,
level.
but there is always the possibility of, like, I don't know. I mean, it comes out Friday. There is some support, but I don't know. And I know that Amazon is this enormous company, but I don't know. They could, in the grand scheme of things, my special is really not that big. It's not as important as the toothpicks they sell on Amazon. So I don't know if they're going to
Right.
get behind it or not.
It's so weird that it's an entertainment company and also a massive shopping outlet. It's
huge.
It's two giant things.
It's
but
huge.
they do support like Mrs. Maisel. I see
yeah.
that everywhere.
Yeah.
So if they have a hit, they will get behind it and make billboards. And I've seen a lot for Fleabag as well. I've seen a bunch of ads for that. So I think
Yeah.
they're really picking up their support. But I haven't seen any support so far for how many specials are there that they've done besides yours? Yours comes out Friday.
Mine comes out Friday, and then a week later, there's 4 that come out.
And
then-
Alonzo Bowden has one coming
Yeah.
out for sure.
And there's 3 other people with him. And then I don't know. There's also something of the flow of information isn't as dynamic as you'd imagine. Because I'm like a nerd for, like, if people follow me on Instagram, they're probably like, yeah, we know you promote. So it's like, I'm not shy about saying, I'm coming to Atlantic City. And so I'm like, hey, when is this going? How can I help? And they're like, there's a little bit of an attitude of like, we've got it. You know what I mean? We know all the information there is. Or they don't care. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they're probably overwhelmed. Right? It's probably a new thing.
Or they just, some of how it was explained to me was I released Nobilate, my special before this, independently,
Right.
through a lot of different
Well,
platforms.
why'd you decide to do that?
Well, some of it was I got an offer that was attractive. I knew that, I love Netflix. I have 5 specials
the
there.
alliance.
But I kind of looked at Netflix. I always describe it as it's a swimming pool. Swimming pools are great. Having a special is kind of like a floaty. But like Netflix, there were just hundreds of floaties in this pool. So how do you know people are going to watch yours? You get like a week at Netflix for accessibility, and I also thought that it would have a greater impact internationally. I don't think it did for me personally. And it was something to try differently.
You know what's weird too is you never really know what the numbers are.
No, you don't know them.
They don't tell you.
You don't know the numbers, and it also shifts. Like the great success that Segura and Ali Wong had, and we're comedians. We watch all of the specials on Netflix. I mean, whether we watch the whole thing is another thing, right?
Yeah.
That's like with Ted Alexandro and I. We're always like, I'm like, did you watch it? And he goes, 10 minutes. Did you watch the? It's like the best compliment is I watched the whole thing. I watched Chris Rock's whole special.
Right.
And so I wanted to do something different. I was offered, and it's expanding your audience. And I also understood that a lot of people consume things on demand. Like I have young kids, so I'm still buying on iTunes like it's 1981. And people consume things on demand. I was convinced on that. And so it went we did this kind of like everywhere but Netflix, and then there was a second window that was on Amazon Prime, and it got a lot of viewers. And so that prompted Amazon to approach for this special.
So independently, when you released your last one, did a production company come to you and say, "Hey Jim, this is what we want to do"?
Yeah, it was Comedy Dynamics, and they were like, "We're gonna distribute it. We're gonna sell it piecemeal, different places." And so I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I want it on airplanes."
Right.
And I have Netflix, but not everyone has Netflix. And also, the swimming pool metaphor, it can get kind of lost in there.
So yours was available on Apple TV. It was available on everything.
It was available on
It's too
everywhere.
far away.
Yeah.
And it was even in theaters.
Do you get a sense of the numbers from them?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So Netflix is the only one that doesn't give you the numbers.
Yeah. Supposedly Amazon will give the numbers.
Supposedly.
I think they would.
You get in the room with them.
I think that they, it's going to be so interesting because I have no idea. But I also, just as how we consume specials has changed, I think that, I think specials serve they're very personal for us, right? By the way, your last one was great.
Thanks.
But it's very personal for us, but it also
Not ready.
indirectly serves as like an infomercial for our sensibility. So it's like you want other people to see it so that they can go, yeah, I like this. And so the appeal of it being in different places was appealing to me.
Yeah, I like the idea of it too. I mean, I really do enjoy that Netflix has gotten so big in the stand-up specials because they've given so many people opportunities and exposed the world to so many great comics. I don't like the fact they don't give you the numbers. That's a little annoying.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact there's other options now. I think it's great. And I think, look, HBO now has a streaming option, and they're trying to get really behind HBO Go, and hopefully more people will do that. So HBO specials will be what they used to be. Used to be if someone got an HBO special, like, holy shit.
It would transform their lives.
Oh my God, like Kennison and all these different people. We found out about them because of HBO.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I think that seeing what Disney Plus does and seeing HBO Max and Apple, but I had approached
I'm out of range.
Amazon back, I think, with my special Obsessed. I wanted to do it on Amazon. They had Prime at that point. And I was like, you give me this amount of money, and you guys own the special. And they're like, at that point, they weren't, they were a packaged goods company. They're like, no, we'll give you 6 cents for every view. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm going to drive people to Amazon.com. And they're like, nah, we're not interested. But so it'll take some time. So, we might think that Apple and Disney will step up immediately for comedy specials, but we don't know. We don't know.
I think in the future there's not going to be anything on live television except sports. I really do.
Oh, yeah,
I
definitely.
Think TV, like the idea of like tuning in at 8 o'clock on Tuesday night, that's the only time to see something.
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
No, appointment television is absurd.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Appointment television.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, a release date. And that's one of the other great things about Netflix. Like when Stranger Things comes out, you get the whole damn season.
Yeah, definitely. And so, like, the binging thing is really It's absurd. Like there's got to be some consequences of that. 'cause
it's unhealthy.
We're just not getting enough sleep.
No, my friend of mine, she told me that she was up watching Stranger Things till 6 o'clock in the morning. She had to get up at 10 to take her kid to school.
Yeah, it's just and we binge it like there's some reason behind it.
Yeah.
It's just convenience.
You just get obsessed. I want to find out what's next. Oh my
Yeah.
God, they left me hanging.
Yeah.
What's next? And you're like, one more, just one
And
more.
those suckers that would wait, my family, I don't want to sound too macho, but we watched Jane the Virgin because my teenage daughter was really into it. So as a family, we watched Jane the Virgin.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a TV show. It's amazing.
Yeah?
It's one of those things where my family would be watching it, and I would come in and I would criticize it. And then after like 2 episodes, I was like, move over. it's a telenovela. It's about Hispanic culture. It's great. It's
Jane
great
the Virgin? What's it on?
Great performances. It was on the CW.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like, I feel like in my adult lifetime, the CW appeared, and I still have never watched the show on the CW. Like, have you ever watched the show on the CW?
I don't believe so.
Right. It's a real network.
Yeah.
But it's
Remember
like...
the WB?
Yeah. I think the WB was... I think the CW is
Something
the WB.
like that, right? There was a
I don't
few
know.
of those little fringe networks way back in the day. Like, I remember the Wayans brothers had a TV
Yeah.
show on one of them.
Yeah, it's one of those weird networks that was, I think it was owned by CBS, but they're like, it's just kind of like, like it would be teen shows, like teen romance shows.
And you like the show?
Jane the Virgin, I liked it. I liked it. I'm not ashamed to say it.
Don't be ashamed.
Like if I asked myself 6 months ago, would I be on Joe Rogan's podcast saying that I like Jane the Virgin? I would say no, of course not.
Well, I remember when, people used to think that being on one of those networks wouldn't do you any good, one of those little small networks. But then True TV put on Impractical Jokers, and those guys
Amazing.
are selling out arenas.
Amazing.
That fucking show is so crazy popular.
It's fascinating watching that show because you try and understand it but I think it's the authenticity of those guys.
They're pals.
And it's not manufactured.
Right.
And I think people like that.
Yes.
It's very appealing. You're like, and I think that's also like real guys.
Yeah.
I think there is so much beautiful people that we consume so much beautiful people that we're shocked when we see a regular looking person. We're like, wait a minute, what did that person must be a bad guy. I used to have a joke about that.
They seem like you could hang out with them too. Like
Yeah.
They seem like regular guys that would be fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want to be with them.
No, like when I first heard the premise, I was like, oh, this is, but by the way, it's been going on for a while.
Quite a while. Yeah.
And I was doing shows in London, and we have the same agent, and they were doing an arena 3 nights in a row in London.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's amazing. Like, who the fuck saw that coming? When I heard about it from Ari Shaffir was telling me that these guys were selling out theaters. I was like, really? I'm like, that's incredible. I go, how big? They were like 5,000 people. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? And that was years ago. Now they've moved to arenas.
Yeah, and they just keep going.
And they have like a whole multimedia show, right? They show videos and all kinds of crazy shit, and they interact with things.
And they're also like they're still the same guys.
Yes.
So they were always those guys.
Yeah.
It wasn't like some cute boy who's trying to act like he's one of the guys.
Right. Record company produced boy band.
Yeah.
No, that's who they are. Well, that's probably why it resonates with people. Because it is authentic.
I think authenticity is really important. I think that's what people like about. I think that's the success of this podcast is the authenticity, that it's not prepackaged. There isn't people that you should understand. It's like even it's a weird thing. I don't know if you want to talk about this.
Credibility isn't ready.
That's a weird thing to me. And I do it.
But like, did you? Because I did this back when it was.
Or intersectionality.
Yeah.
If it has something to do with race or gender or politics, or they feel like this is something that must be discussed. And one of the things that I hear from friends that are very frustrated is that when they pitch shows,
Yeah.
When they pitch shows to the network, they have a story, an idea. Like, this is what we're trying to. This is the thing.
It's too
They're like,
far
okay, where's the diversity? It's like one of the first questions. They're like, well, it's about an Irish family that lives in the Bronx. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
You know, this is what the story's about. They're like, well, where's the diversity? Like, you have to insert diversity to meet their criteria. Like, you can't just have you can have a story as long as the person's like, you could have a story about a Haitian family, and it'd just be all about the Haitian family. No one's gonna say, well, what about white guys? We need to get some white guys on this show. No,
Because if you inserted the white guys, then it's the white savior story. So you can't be the
Exactly.
white guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I just can't wait until we're done with all this. I mean, maybe it'll be long after we're done, long after we're dead.
Yeah.
But when there's no more racism and this is no longer a viable storyline,
I'm out of
like, no one gives a fuck if you're Chinese or Indian
Yeah.
or from Pakistan. We legitimately don't care. They're just different varieties of people, and there's no judgment whatsoever. I can't wait for that time. But until then, we just have to deal with these absurd people that peddle in this narrative that you have to have, you know, X amount of. Like I was reading something where someone was saying that I should run for. I should moderate the presidential debates.
That would be amazing.
And someone's. It's never gonna
You'd
happen.
make them all smoke pot before
For
you
sure.
start.
It's never gonna happen. But someone said, why do that when you can give it to a talented black woman? I'm like, okay, I'm out. We're out. We're not talking
And by
about
the way, here's the thing. And I think you'd agree with me. I do think there's an imbalance, and we
Yes.
do have to correct it.
Yes.
And I do think that, like, you know, and it's great that we have the knowledge and the foresight, but humans, we're just clumsy.
Yeah.
We're just clumsy, you know, with, you know, we're just like, oh, let's just stick this here. When you know, creativity is much more complex than that. Like,
Yeah.
even any comedian, we could have Carrot Top here. There's a nuance on every joke he does. Like, people can sit there and be dismissive, but like, he's like, you know what, I can't do that joke before I do this joke.
Yeah.
Whereas people just think it's like, no, just stick this in there, stick a speech in there. But I almost feel is like when Green Book won, because I saw it after the fact, I was like, because you know, like, there's this belief of, oh, you know, if you play a disabled person, you win, but it's much more of like that movie Winning was like, oh yeah, you know, it's you know, the great crime of America and race. So it brings that up. It also deals with, you know, homosexuality and like the struggle of that, which is profound. I can't even contemplate it. But it's like, that's why the movie won. And it was also, we love Italians. America loves it. Hey, you gotta talk like this. Hey, who doesn't love that? Well, America loves Italians. They love Boston. And, there's certain things that America loves. So I was like, oh, that's why it won. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm not saying Vigio wasn't great. I'm just saying that's why it won.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
It is a little weird. But on the other hand, one way to look at it is that, like, the idea that there can be no darkness without light, right? There can be no real appreciation of true diversity without an understanding of racism. Like, to have it around in its ugliest form makes you appreciate the people that don't express that aren't racist, that are just even-keeled people that appreciate everybody.
Well, there's also this too, is that, I tend to lean left. I'm pretty liberal socially, and when Trump was elected, and like there was the Women's March and all this stuff, I had this thought process of like, how can I contribute? How can I help make this country better? Which sounds grandiose, which it is. But the thing is like, I'm not changing anyone's mind. I really believe that. It's like, and if anything, I think at my shows, it's like people are kind of like, a break from it.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we're all thinking about it all the time. They're like, all right, there's a tariff, a Chinese tariff. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Are American farmers destroyed? What's going on? But like, when they come to my shows, they don't want me to rehash it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's one of the keys to your success is that you provide a vacation. A fun, silly, well thought out, immediately brilliant sort of vacation from
But
the
also
nonsense
pointing
of the
out
day.
that humans we're absurd. We're stupid.
Yeah.
We are so stupid. Like, we just think, humans think we have it, every generation we think we have it figured out. That's like the assuredness of people makes me concerned. Like, you know, there were people at a time that were like, here's how we how we solve the flu is we're gonna put these leeches on people. Trust me, it's working. Like, they were convinced that would work.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, how we're gonna view this generation 100 years from now or 200 years from now.
Oh, it's gonna be fast. I mean, I've got a 15-year-old who is so. My children they're so fascinating.
And you
But
live in New York City.
I live
still.
in New York City.
Yeah, which is crazy. We talked about this a long
Yeah.
time ago. That's a wild place to raise kids.
Is it?
I don't know.
I
tell
don't.
me.
I feel like there is socioeconomic,
Need more
cultural, more diversity. My kids walking to a subway station,
Sure.
than if we lived in the suburbs.
For sure.
And yeah, you know, it's, you know, they don't have a yard, but like, I'm kind of like, I don't know. It seems like people that have yards, they're like paranoid about their kids getting snatched anyway. So, but I don't know. It's what I also, you know, I feel like there's a lot of convenience in New York that I like. And I also, to be perfectly honest, it's like in LA, I feel kind of smothered by the entertainment industry. And maybe it's my insecurity, but it's like,
no, I think you're right.
there's like, you drive down the street, there's all these billboards, and each of those billboards is saying, you're a failure. Look at this person. This is their 5th show where they're going to get an Emmy nomination, and people don't even know your name.
Yeah.
You know? So it's, I mean, obviously, just fate had it where I stayed in New York, because there's plenty of reasons to live in LA.
Well, first and foremost, you're a comic. You're always
Yes.
recognized as a comic, but you do a lot of other things as well. But like you do a lot of other movies and television shows and stuff. But being in New York City, I think in some ways you get the best of both worlds, because you
Yeah.
get many clubs to perform in, many clubs to practice in. But you also don't get that sort of scrutiny of the agents and the managers and the entertainment industry, so you can work on your shit.
Need more
And then on top of that, you're not surrounded by the business,
Yeah.
right? You're around fucking regular folks, just hustling and doing their
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, I'm traveling constantly too, so it's. But there is, yeah. I just like doing. I mean, here's where I think I'm doing it wrong or doing it right. It's like I just care about good stage time, quality stage time. Whereas I think, you know, even, you know, like I don't work at the Cellar in New York City, and that's, you know, some of that goes back history. But like some of it is, I just want stage time, and I can eat dinner with my kids, put some of them to bed, and decide to do a spot, go do the spot, come back, and wrangle my 2 other kids to get to sleep. Whereas if I went to the Cellar, or if I had to make the journey, the drive in LA, it would be a different commitment.
What's
I mean,
the thing about the Cellar that makes it more difficult?
well, you know, some of it is peers and friends. Like, I don't like the idea, you know, the hierarchy of, I always kind of get, you know, a little bit, like, I'm just kind of like, I just want to do stand-up. I just want to do it. I spent a lot of time hanging out in comedy clubs. And some of it is like at the Cellar, I don't want to bump some of my friends that I started with.
Right.
And I also don't want to get bumped by somebody else. It's like I'm not going to abuse doing a set, but I'll go in and I'll do 15 minutes. It won't disrupt anyone's night. But I also know that at the Cellar, you know, there's going to be people that show up. Sometimes there's a pack of 3 or 4 people that are going to do sets, and everyone's kind of off for that night. But also it's, you know, it goes back like 20 years ago. I'm a low energy kind of comedian, and it used to, you know, I used to put in avails at the Cellar, and it would kind of determine, I would get, you know, like, you get a spot Wednesday at 1 a.m. And so like I would be bummed for the week. So I don't want to give my power away in
Yeah,
those
I see
situations.
what
I just
you're
want to
saying.
do stand up.
So you'd rather just do
I'd
good
rather go to
spots,
gossip.
yeah.
And also
Gotham's great.
And I look, I love the cellar, but I feel like that's also the layout of the room is far more interactive, whereas I want to try out material. But I don't know, it's shifted because the cellar it's a great club with a great complex. I mean, there's 3 rooms. So, but some of it is I'm now at the point where I just want to do one set. And I also don't want to I don't want a friend like Todd Barry looking at me like, you're bumping me? Do you know what I mean?
Do you call in or do you just show up?
I call in.
Yeah.
So I'll call, but sometimes I'll decide at like
Need
8:10.
more
I'll
rage.
call Gotham and I'll go,
Not enough rage.
is it okay if I come in? And they'll say, yes. It's better if you come in at 8:40 or 9:10. Just so that I don't screw anyone up.
Yeah.
And then, but like at Gotham, Seinfeld always goes there too. So it's like, I'm like, I got to get there before Jerry.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about a big city like New York, particularly about New York. There's so many different options. Like
Yeah.
in Los Angeles, we really only have the Comedy Store, the Improv, the Laugh Factory, and then there's a few on the
Yeah.
outskirts. But New York City has so many more options.
It's amazing the transformation the Comedy Store has gone through.
Yeah.
Like it is I would say it's probably one of the most important clubs in the country, beyond a doubt. Maybe I'm thinking it's like up there, right? As like the surefire thing. If you're an audience member, you go to the store, you're gonna see a great show. But like 15 years ago, I don't know if that was the case.
No, it wasn't the case in 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty
And
bad for a while.
who is responsible? Because that comes down to management.
That has a lot to do with it. It also the internet. A lot of us talking about how great the Comedy Store is.
Ah.
Also getting rid of the old management, firing them.
Right.
They found the old guy was running the place, was stealing money, and they fired him.
There's
And
how
he
many?
was a piece of shit anyway. He was
There's
just
so many
running it
stories
poorly.
where it's like, and then it was revealed they were stealing. And you're like, what?
Yeah. They did a sting operation and caught him stealing money.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a bad guy, but just running the place poorly too.
Yeah,
and he was the
yeah.
reason why I wasn't there for 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I came back, and all the talking about the store with comics on podcasts too got
Yeah.
people so excited about it. And then you'd look at the lineup, like on a Tuesday night, it's just a murderer's row.
And also, those rooms are great. The layout of the rooms are like great for performing.
Yes.
They're not kind of like this, like I love Zanies in Chicago, but it's like, it's not like the stage is 3 feet higher than the audience. It's almost perfectly designed and laid out.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be above. Like the store, like the original room is probably the best room in the world to figure out if your jokes are any good.
Yeah.
Because if you have any weird fat in your material or just extra words or fakeness, or it just gets exposed in that room.
Yeah, I love going to different places, and I call it purifying a joke.
Are you doing a spot tonight anywhere?
No, I'm probably not.
Come on down.
I'm
to
an
the
old
store.
man.
Get the fuck out of here. You're in town.
Are you going there?
Yeah. Come
All right,
down.
maybe I'll go.
I'm up at 9:30.
All right, I'll go.
I'll hook it
bump
up.
you.
You want me to hook it up?
I'm gonna go and
I'll
bump you.
I'll call in for you. I'll make you bump me.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's just. I've been doing all this promotion for this Amazon Prime thing. There's so many shows. Like there's shows that I'm like, and I've heard of them, but I'm like, how many? Like it's getting to the point where people like we're doing individual shows for just one person. Like I feel like I'm like, I'll do these shows and I'll be like, all right. And I don't
this
want
is
to
too
name
busy.
them, but you're like,
go bed.
are there,
I'm
like,
like,
I'll
look
look
how
at my
many people.
publicist,
There's
I'm
like
like,
30
is there
people here.
people that listen to this? And he's like, yeah, 1 million people. I'm like, really?
There's so many people, Jim. That's what it is.
It's just, it used to be the, but like, it's strange to do a show, have a great time, you really kind of engage in conversation, and it drops, and no one says anything on Twitter or on Instagram or Facebook.
Well, if you really stop and think about how many television shows there are in terms of like shows that you can binge watch, it's impossible. You would literally lose your entire day, every day of the week, just trying to keep up with the hits. There's no way. It's impossible. And then you have, how many people have talk shows? How many? There's James Corden, and there's The Tonight Show, and there's Colbert.
When did you
Jimmy
decide
Kimmel.
to not? Because you used to do those shows.
Yeah.
Was there? It's a time management thing?
It's a time management thing, and it's also, I don't believe that they have a good format. I think that format is nonsense. I think the format of waiting for commercials and the audience being right there and playing to the audience, it's not an effective way to have a conversation. It's definitely not an effective way to express ideas that are complicated. You want to be able to, like, air them out in a long-form way. And you can't do that on those shows. You just can't. It's in, it's out, and if anything weird or controversial comes up, you stick your foot in your mouth. You never have a chance to take it out. Nobody really gets a chance to see how your mind really works. Like, what are you thinking? Where is your head at? How do you come to these conclusions? What's your thought process? Who are you as a person? Are you a good person? Are you trying to do good?
Yeah.
Are you flawed? Are you what are you? And you find that out in a long-form conversation. It's like when I had Bernie Sanders on, one of the things that people said was most interesting is like, this guy's not a cartoon. He's a really nice guy. I see him on these shows, and he seems like this fucking cartoonish character.
Right.
But now you see him here in this long-form conversation where there's no interruptions at all. He just has a chance to think and talk and express himself, and you go, oh, now I know the real Bernie, because I never knew him in these goddamn debates when he's screaming for 12 seconds about healthcare or about taxes or about whatever it is.
Yeah. It's fascinating. Like, all right, here, let me ask you this.
Okay. Nicotine gum. Give me one of them. So let me try that.
Oh, they're beautiful. They're delicious. I go original flavor.
And you used to do the chew, right?
I used to dip, and then I used to smoke cigarettes. Like, my wife has
Thank you.
videos. Like, you know, we have all these old videos of us doing stand-up, and